So Wish had a horrible opening after Thanksgiving.
You know what? This may not be the cause of it, but I firmly believe this movie should have been 2D hand drawn. Not just the fact that I believe it's the 100th animated feature from Disney, right?
This is the 100th animated film. Yep.
And I'll be honest, I haven't seen the movie. I've seen some of a trailer for it. So I know very little about it, but looks like they half tried to make it look hand drawn ish with like the render engine, but not enough to make a real difference. It still just looks generic as hell, like every other animated movie from the past 10 years. Maybe that has something to do with it.
I don't know, man. I just don't think they're releasing good films because, like, good films, people will rush to it. Like, look at Barbie. Barbie made $1 billion. And then just look at Disney's track record right now. They're just churning things out and hoping that merchandise will save them. But, like, I haven't seen Strange World yet. I haven't seen Elemental yet.
Same, same.
I'm not really rushing to see them at all. They just don't look appealing at all. It looks very cookie cutter, basic plot with nothing special about it. I just think Disney's really lost its way, and I feel like audiences are finally picking up on that.
The optimist in me hopes that this is still just like the influence of Bob Chapek being felt, and now that he's out, maybe things will get back to maybe how they used to be under Iger, because Iger's back, but then at the same time, Iger was a dick through the whole strike, so fuck him. It's a sad time for Disney.
And speaking of sad times, do you want to get started?
Let's.
All right, hit that intro.
Ooh, I'm a spirit.
Two friends named Corey and Steve like talking about films and TV. They thought, hey, what if this was a show? That's how we got here, now you know. Wait, what's the name? That sounds terrible, go on. That sounds terrible, go on. We hope you stick around and have some fun right after our intro song. That sounds terrible, go on.
Welcome back, folks, to the fantastic episode of That Sounds Terrible. Go on. I'm your host, Corey.
And I am your co-host, Steve.
Steve,
Corey.
you look like you are in high spirits today.
Well, it's been a day off. It's been lovely. And oh, wait a second, that's the movie we watched. It was Spirited. Bwomp! Transition.
That's right, folks. Today we're talking about 2022's Spirited, starring Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds in a Christmas Carol musical.
None of that should work, given the track records of the two leads over the past, 15 years. They've settled into like playing Will Ferrell and playing Ryan Reynolds. And they're good at that, but the movies haven't lived up to that skill. But yeah, this oddball giant musical Christmas Carol remake sequel extravaganza. Oh my god, this hits the right notes.
It sure does. And it's just in time for the holiday season as we go ahead and we kick off our own holiday season month.
It's a real catchy name for it, holiday season month.
You know, surprisingly, Steve, it was the only one not trademarked.
Yeah, no, that tracks. That tracks. Capitalism, baby. Yeah, this is super fun and it really hits you in the feels. And, sometimes I think about feels and I wonder, Corey, don't I know you?
Don't you?
Let's find out.
Let's.
All right, so obviously this tackles the Christmas Carol premise of finding a truly awful person, scaring them with a bunch of ghosts and flashbacks and whatnot into being a better person. That being said, who do you think is a modern unredeemable that deserves the Christmas Carol treatment?
I'm going to say the first name that comes to mind, Elon Musk.
Yep, I had a feeling.
Yeah, if only he did.
Out of touch with humanity.
Yeah, man, I feel like if there's anyone that needs to be visited by three ghosts and a dead business partner, Elon Musk is your guy.
I cannot disagree with you.
Steve, what about you?
Elon was at the top of my list too, but given what our past few episodes have been over the course of the strike, I'm gonna go with David Zaslav. I know it's not quite as, horrendous as destroying all of democracy and social media and banking on blood money from emerald mines, but he shelved Batgirl. So almost the same.
I mean, experts would have to agree.
Oh, definitely. Yep. There's no way that I am putting myself in any kind of hot water by equating these two as equally horrendous to all of humanity. Also, he got rid of Looney Tunes, so all his ghosts would have to be animated.
I'd watch that.
Same. Question 2. So we learn throughout this movie that the spirits that visit the Scrooge or whatever target they have were once people that were alive on Earth. So Corey, if you were dead, you're in the afterlife, you had the opportunity to be one of the spirits, which one would you pick?
I think Yet to Come would be the most fun and also the easiest.
Yeah, you just kind of got to point at stuff.
Maybe eventually I'll say something.
It would have to be really cool. Like you need a really cool catchphrase.
It's time to get deadening.
Ooh, chilling.
I'll workshop it.
Yeah, you will.
Steve, what about you? Which ghosty are you choosing?
I feel like I would go with Christmas Present. Probably the shortest lived of the three spirits, so I get to, just chill out most of the time, and his whole thing is partying and enjoying the present, which is something that I try to do when I remember to. I feel like it would be a good fit, and I'd have a bunch of grapes, so, bonus. And finally, Corey, we are introduced by this movie to the wonderful insult and all-encompassing tell-off that is good afternoon. Is there another old-timey insult, tell-off, put-down, what have you, that you particularly enjoy and would love to bring back?
I feel like in a sense it already is back because I recall people still saying this and making fun of it. It's the old Shakespearean, I bite my thumb at thee.
But do you bite your thumb at me, sir?
No, do you bite your thumb at me, sir?
I bite my thumb, but not at you, sir.
Steve, what about you?
I've always been a fan of the word fopdoodle. It's fun to say, and it is just a humiliating insult. But at the same time, there's a line from Shakespeare's As You Like It, where it tickles me. I must tell you friendly in your ear, sell when you can, you are not for all markets.
Damn.
That is a hell of a put down. Thank you, Billy the Shake.
The Bard indeed.
And now, I know you.
And I know you. All right, folks, that's going to wrap up Don't I Know You? Now, before we get to our next segment, just a quick commercial break.
Advertising.
Hey, folks, did you know that we're a couple of corporate whores? We will do whatever you say for money. That's right. We'll give an ad that promises the world to your potential customers for whatever you're trying to sell. Is it true? Doesn't matter. Is it going to work? Still doesn't matter. Give us $5, give us $10. We'll make all your dreams come true as long as your dreams are limited to having your product hawked on our podcast.
But Steve, what if I don't have an advertisement written for you?
Well, for a small extra fee, we can write one for you, aka make one up on the spot and half-ass it.
That's right, folks. If you have any interest in advertising with us, please hit us up on our Instagram at That Sounds Terrible Pod, or find us on Twitter by looking up That Sounds Terrible, Go On.
Slide into our DMs so we can slide into your ads. We're going to do an ad for you.
That's right, folks. Fill our bank accounts so we can line your pockets with that sweet, sweet internet money. Welcome back, folks.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there.
Sorry, I'm looking a little ghostly today. I know, it's easy to see through me.
Oh, Corey. Sometimes I look at you and I think, unredeemable.
And Steve, you know who else is unredeemable? Why, the members of our cast and crew!
Oh, it's the cast and crew!
That's right, folks. Cast and crew is part of the pod where we talk about some cast members, talk about some crew members. Now, are we going to be able to get to every single one of them?
Oh, yes, including every version of the Christmas Carol that's ever been made.
Oh, good God, Steve, no, don't do that to me or anyone. That is just way too much. We just don't have that kind of time available to us. But if there's someone a part of this cast and crew that we don't touch on that you believe that we should have, be sure, folks, to hit us up on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube page. Starting off, though, with this cast and crew, we have to talk about the director and one of the co-writers, Sean Anders. Now, Anders is best known as one of the co-writers of 2013's We're the Millers and 2010's Hot Tub Time Machine. He was also a co-writer and director on 2015's Daddy's Home and its 2017 sequel, Daddy's Home 2. He has so far been nominated for 1 Golden Razzie.
What was that for?
I'm pretty sure it was Daddy's Home 2.
Yeah, that's fair.
So the vision here that they're going for is stage musical.
Yes. Big, glitzy, awesome.
Everything from like the dance moves to the camera angles, the lighting. Oh my God. I literally want this to be a stage musical.
It works so well. And all you need is that one line, The Afterlife. It's a musical. That's all you need. Great idea for a story. Great idea for a musical. I got nothing.
No notes on the direction?
Like what else is there to say? He nailed it. Hasn't always nailed it. Looking at his pedigree, he's got some off ones in there and some okay ones. But he is really coming to his own here as a filmmaker, and I did not think that I would be saying that about Sean Anders.
You're sitting there and telling me that the man who was the co-writer and director of Daddy's Home 2, you didn't think that guy was going to be knocking it out the park? Come on.
Actually, I thought that the person who made Dumb and Dumber 2 would never be able to knock it out of the park.
That's right, he did do that. I didn't want to list that because I didn't want to talk about that, but thanks.
You're welcome. Anytime.
We'll get there.
Oh, we'll get there.
Next up, we've got the other co-writer, John Morris. Now, Morris is best known as the co-writer for 2013's We're the Millers, 2010's Hot Tub Time Machine, 2015's Daddy's Home, and its 2017 sequel, Daddy's Home 2.
Some of those sound familiar.
Oh, yeah, I'd say so. You definitely see that Anders and Morris pair up together. Writing teams, I feel like, are becoming more and more of a thing these days, especially directing and writing. Like, I've just noticed more popping up, and with this film, at least, I'm not going to complain about this duo.
Yeah, the rise of writing teams has become more noticeable, like with the Daniels, and I think it's a good idea. This isn't exactly a novel epiphany, but being able to bounce ideas off another person and having different strengths than your partner, that's a good thing when you're being creative.
Yeah, but it would never work in a podcast, right?
Never. Collaborations don't work.
But again, like we said, this does work. The script is both fun and it also isn't afraid to make fun of itself because they even realize there has been so many adaptations of A Christmas Carol. Why are we watching another one? Well, you kind of are. It's A Christmas Carol with more of a twist while acknowledging the history behind A Christmas Carol. It's smart. It's a very smart idea. Thankfully, they were also able to execute it in a smart way.
Yeah, I think something that really works to their strengths is they expect you to know the story of Christmas Carol and to expect certain story beats and certain tropes, and that is where they subvert you and keep you guessing, and nope, this is supposed to be the end of the story where everything's all happy, but no, guess what? Everything sucks. They do a great job of misdirecting you and keeping you on your toes as a audience member.
And speaking of being on your toes, or in this case, toe tapping, we got to talk about the lyrics and music written by Benj Pasek and Justin Paul. Now, Pasek and Paul are best known as the writers of the music and lyrics for the Dear Evan Hansen stage musical and the 2 additional songs on the 2021 film adaptation,
Episode 27.
2017's The Greatest Showman, and they composed songs for season 3 of Only Murders in the Building's Death, Rattle, Dazzle musical. They have been nominated so far for 3 Oscars, winning 1 Primetime Emmy, 2 Golden Globes, winning both, 5 Grammys, winning 1, and 4 Tony Awards, winning 3. Knowing that they wrote the musical numbers for the last season of Only Murders in the Building's little musical within the show,
Have not seen it.
highly recommend. But the rhythm, the lyric work, and everything just fits so well. Like I really feel like if you want to get a really good idea, like a good comparison, just like the style, listen to those two.
And they also did the music for La La Land, which, controversy aside, great musical numbers, all about that. And something that just hits close to my heart is they wrote a few songs for the middling TV series Smash. They wrote some of the songs for one of the musicals within the show. Yeah, I just love that for them. It's their first credit as a soundtrack on IMDb. But all that to say that every song in this movie is a banger. There is not a one that I would want to skip. They all grab you in their own way and accomplish what they want to. Just excellent music. Not at all what I expected when I saw the trailer for this.
When I heard the idea of, first off, it's Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell in a Christmas musical, not even that it's a Christmas Carol musical, just a Christmas musical in general, I went, that's not going to be a good time.
It shouldn't be.
But I am more than willing to eat my crow in this moment. These songs are catchy, they are fun, and even better, a little bit of diversity thrown in.
You love to see it.
The other thing I really love is like they all have, again, the stage musical feel. Like this is someone singing on a big stage with background dancers and they're doing their own dancing and everything. Like it just helps put you in that theater seat at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And you are along for the ride.
But you know who else takes us along for the ride, Steve?
The guy that drove the bus.
Well, we're talking about him and also Will Ferrell as the current Ghost of Christmas Present. Now, Ferrell is best known as Mustafa in the Austin Powers franchise, Jacobin Mugatu in 2001's Zoolander, Buddy the Elf in 2003's Elf, Federal Wildlife Marshal Will and Holly in 2001's Jane Silent Bob Strike Back, Ron Burgundy in 2004's Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, Ricky Bobby in 2006's Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, Frank the Tank Rickard in 2003's Old School, Harold Crick in 2006's Stranger Than Fiction, Brendan Huff in 2008's Step Brothers, The Man with the Yellow Hat in 2006's Curious George, Franz Liebkind in 2005's The Producers, and Craig McDermott in 2009's The Goods Live Hard, Sell Hard. Oh, wait, sorry, that was just in the 2000s. You'll also know him as the voice of the titular character in 2010's Megamind, returning as Ron Burgundy in the 2013 Anchorman sequel, Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues, Nick Halsey in 2010's Everything Must Go, returning as Jacobin Mugatu in the 2016 Zoolander sequel, Zoolander 2, Lord Business / The Man Upstairs in 2014's The Lego Movie and its 2019 sequel, The Lego Movie 2, the second part, Detective Alan Gamble in 2010's The Other Guys, and most recently as the CEO of Mattel in 2023's Barbie. But wait, there's more in terms of television. You'll know him as a cast member on Saturday Night Live from season 21 until season 28. He has currently returned to host the show 5 times.
5 Timers Club.
You may also know him as Shane Bitch Hunter on NBC's 30 Rock and D'Angelo Vickers in NBC's The Office. He has been nominated for 3 Daytime Emmys, 19 Primetime Emmy Awards, winning 4, 2 Golden Globes, 6 Golden Razzies, winning 1 WGA Award, 5 Kids' Choice Awards, winning 1 Tony Award, and 15 MTV Movie Awards, winning 2. And if you think that's all, it's not. As in 2015, he was awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and in 2011, given the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor. The legend that is Will Ferrell. I believe first time making the cast and crew list on the pod.
I believe so, yeah. And it's about damn time, because, dear God, what a talent. He's fallen into some creative slumps in his career and just kind of coasted on playing Will Ferrell as in another wacky setting. But when he gets the right roles, this man shines. And do not sleep on this man's singing voice. He does not always get to be in a musical. This was not his first, but I'm glad that he's doing this. I hope he does more.
Same here. Like, I was blown away. I couldn't remember where he had done a musical before this, but...
The Producers.
Oh, that's right. He was. See, it didn't register in my mind because when he sang with the German accent, which is different than his normal speaking and singing voice. Because, like, when you're doing a voice, they always tell you when you're voice acting, any voice you do, you have to be able to sing with that voice as well. So for me, I guess it just didn't register for that, but you're absolutely right. The Producer's there. But still, man, I don't think he's the greatest singer, but I think he's pretty damn good given the right material. Like, he knocked it out the park. Like, when he starts singing Unredeemable,
you feel it.
Yo, I feel it all right. And again, just another role where he is playing standard Will Ferrell, but it works. It works because of the script. He's obviously the right choice for this role.
Absolutely. He's the perfect amount of goofy that we need for this sort of character. I love when he's hamming it up as his, spoiler alert, past self. He gets just enough like depth and complexity that he gets to chew on the character a little bit, sink his teeth in, but he still gets to have fun and be a goof. What's not to love?
Next up, we've got Ryan Reynolds as Clint Briggs. Now, Reynolds is best known as the titular character of Van Wilder in 2002's National Lampoon's Van Wilder, Monty in 2005's Waiting, Hannibal King in 2004's Blade Trinity, Hal Jordan in 2011's Green Lantern, the titular character in 2019's Detective Pikachu, Guy in 2021's Free Guy, Michael Burgeon in ABC's Two Guys and a Girl, and, of course, Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, in the X-Men film series and upcoming MCU films. He has even hosted Saturday Night Live 3 times, on top of being nominated for 1 Golden Globe, 1 Grammy Award, 12 MTV Movie Awards, winning 3, and 2 Saturn Awards, winning 1. In 2017, he was named Hasty Pudding's Man of the Year, and in 2010, he was named People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive, as well as in 2017 was awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. More recently, in 2023, it was announced that he was to be appointed to the Order of British Columbia, his home province in Canada, for both his artistic and philanthropic work. He is also a co-owner of the Welsh football club, Wrexham AFC, and while being co-owner, Wrexham has set a team record of most league wins in a season, most goals in a season, and longest unbeaten record. They were also included in the video game FIFA 22, becoming the first non-FIFA league team to be featured in the series. This man just stacks accomplishments up over the past few years. Like, he has done so much work to make up for the abomination that was 2011's Green Lantern.
Yeah, that's another one I haven't seen, and I'm fine with that.
We'll get there.
Oh, we'll get there. He is well beyond being an actor, and it's funny that we're doing this right now because a YouTuber that I follow, Patrick H. Willems, shout out, just did a video about Ryan Reynolds and about how he and The Rock have become brands. Very interesting watch. But he's a very savvy businessman, knows how to make good investments, and seems to get invested, at least with the football team thing. Love that for him. Love that he showed up for this musical and he brought it. He kind of surprised me that he is able to sing at all. Did not see that coming, and he did a lovely job.
Sing and dance.
And dance, that's true, yeah.
That man cut many a rug throughout this film.
You're not wrong. Yeah, no, that choreo is tight, and he nailed it.
Yeah, Carpenters are furious. But, I'm not at all furious of his performance either here. I loved his chemistry with Will Ferrell. Like, Will Ferrell's over the top paired with Ryan Reynolds' just slick ridiculousness in their comedic styles just worked so well because Ryan Reynolds is kind of playing the straight man, even though the words he's using aren't the words of a straight man.
Very good at playing the sly, quippy guy, but again, they give his character some depth and some complexity, and he does a good job with it. When he has to have emotional moments, he hits them. When he has to be a troublemaking no good Nick, he hits that too.
Next up, we've got Octavia Spencer as Kimberly. Now, Spencer is best known as Tanya in 2013's Snowpiercer, Dorothy Vaughan in 2016's Hidden Figures, Sue Ann Ma Ellington in 2019's Ma, Zelda Fuller in 2017's The Shape of Water, Harriet Tubman in an episode of Drunk History, Grandma in 2020's The Witches, and Minnie Jackson in 2011's The Help. She's been nominated for 3 Academy Awards, winning 1, 2 BAFTAs, winning 1, 3 Golden Globes, winning 1, 1 Primetime Emmy, 4 SAG Awards, winning 3, and 10, that's right, count them, 10 NAACP Image Awards, winning 4. She is also the first Black actress to receive 2 consecutive Oscar nominations back-to-back, the first Black actress to receive 2 Oscar nominations after a win, and the second most nominated Black actress to date. Not to mention, in 2017, she got to host an episode of Saturday Night Live, so I'd say she's doing pretty good for herself.
Oh, yeah. And it is all connected. Everybody's going through SNL.
And again, another person completely blown away from her singing. Did not know she could sing. My God.
Same. She gets this wonderful ballad to sing her heart out. She runs with it. Very interesting character. Love her chemistry with Will Ferrell. Yeah, I love her character's journey. She did such a great job.
Well, she plays the role of Bob Cratchit, but she's a Bob Cratchit who is really troubled by her decisions, and she just knocks it out the park. And again, great chemistry, like you said, with Will Ferrell. Didn't see it coming whatsoever. I was kind of sitting there like, I don't know how this is going to be, because Will Ferrell in like a love role and hasn't have the best track record, let's be honest, but whatever it was, it worked here, and we love to see it.
Absolutely, we sure do. Love the two of them together. I ship them.
And folks, that's going to be our cast and crew.
Oh, it's the cast and crew.
Next up, the generically named How It's Made.
Hey, how'd they make that?
As always, folks, with the generically named How It's Made, I have gone through and compiled, to the best of my ability, an entire production history based off of the piece of media that we just watched. Now, I put all this into a document, which Steve is opening right now, looking at it for the first time. He's going to be reading this out loud, and we are going to get his takes in real time. So, Steve, whenever you're ready, take it away.
All right. On September 20th, 2019, it was announced that Sean Anders and John Morris were attached to write and direct a musical film based on Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, which would star Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. In October, it would be announced that Apple had won the bidding war for the rights to the film. Get that money, baby! During the negotiations, it was also given that the movie's copyright would revert back to the filmmakers in 20 to 25 years. Huh, that's fun.
Doesn't happen very often.
No, not at all. Well done, Apple, I assume. On February 8th, 2021, it was announced that Octavia Spencer would join the cast. Principal photography began on July 6, 2021 in Boston, with filming wrapping sometime in October. Now, usually they go to Toronto to fake New York City. Boston is a choice. Spirited would go on to have a limited release in theaters on November 11th, 2022, before premiering on Apple TV Plus on November 18th. According to Samba TV, out of the 3.1 million smart TV households they track, 228,500 viewers watched the film within its first 2 days of availability. I was one of them. Loved it right away. On December 9th, a sing-along version would be released theatrically for another limited release. Oh, that sounds fun. It would go on to be nominated for a Society of Composers and Lyricists Awards for Outstanding Original Song for a Comedy or Musical Visual Media Production for the song Good Afternoon. Well deserved. I'm guessing that they didn't win, but great job.
Where are all of the awards nominations at the very least for this film? There was nothing for set design, nothing for costuming, nothing for best original songs. Not even lesser awards. This was literally the biggest award that they got nominated for was from Society of Composers and Lyricists.
Yeah, that is an absolute shame. Pasek and Paul are a powerhouse together. I guess they're just going to have to keep cranking out musicals until they get noticed, and then continue to crank out musicals because we love them.
I'm really hoping for a John Williams length career here from the both of them. Same.
Pasek and Paul, we love you. Thus concludes the generically named How It's Made. Oh, that's how they made it.
All right, folks, before we get into our next segment, just another quick commercial break. What are you doing? Sit down. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
All right, folks, I am here at Goblin's Den Tattoo out in the lovely Syracuse, New York, being currently inked by Leah, owner, operator, and a fantastic individual. Leah, how are you doing today?
We're doing good.
Doing really good, doing good. Am I doing good? Am I sitting good?
Yes.
Excellent, fantastic.
We're both hydrated.
That's the dream. Let's be honest here. So how long have you been tattooing for?
I have been tattooing for technically 5 years.
So tell me, what are your favorite tattoos to both design and put on people's bodies?
I think the biggest thing for me is for someone to be really inspired with their idea, really excited. That's always a plus, and not just like a last second kind of deal. Something that you can think about and be like, yep, this is how we're going to do it, critique it, special, all that jazz. But personally, when it comes to style, my drawing style is preferred anime, but I do like cartoons, I do like spooky, scary stuff, I like plants and stuff. A lot of people come to me for floral. But yeah, so I like more animated stuff that can be stylized. Kind of neo-traditional, but not so out there.
Well, you heard it here, folks. If you're looking for any of those kinds of styles or designs, you know exactly where you need to hit up. That again, that is Goblin's Den Tattoo out in Syracuse, New York. What's the Instagram name?
Instagram name is Goblin's Den Tattoo. Same for Facebook. We're currently adjusting our social medias and getting them more active. So Instagram, Goblin's Den Tattoo. Facebook, Goblin's Den Tattoo. And my name is Leah Tran, if you're trying to look for me personally. We also have another artist, Sid, and Sid is also on there as well.
And folks, the Goblin's Den Tattoo is also a safe place for those of you who are LGBTQ+. So if you're looking for a shop that's both safe and not run by pieces of human garbage, then we can give you the guarantee that the Goblin's Den is the destination. Again, that's the Goblin's Den. Find them on Instagram or Facebook and book your next session today. Welcome back, folks.
You made it. Welcome.
Oh, they sure did. And I hope they're ready to have a good afternoon as we get into this breakdown.
Oh, don't do this to me.
All right, folks, breakdown is the part of the pod where we go through the entire plot of this film, scene by scene, giving our takes as we go. Now, are we able to touch on every single little moment that happens?
Oh, obviously, yes. 100%. Every line, every letter, every tiny piece of choreo we're going to get into right now.
You know what, Steve? Just because it's Christmas time, I'm actually still not going to do it. I just don't have it in me, man. Dude, I have presents to wrap. I got a tree to put up. I have more lights to put on the house. Like, come on, man. Listen, I'm not doing this all just for figgy pudding, okay? So.
Humbug.
And folks, if we do miss something that you believe we should have talked about and you wish to cast a humbug upon us, be sure to hit us up on our Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube page. All right, well, let's get into this breakdown here because, well, these horrible people aren't going to haunt themselves. In 3, 2, for nearly 2 centuries, Jacob Marley, played by Patrick Page, and the Ghost of Christmas Past, played by Sunita Mani, present and yet to come, voiced by Tracy Morgan, have led a team of afterlife spirits to find and redeem one human soul or perp every Christmas, featuring the song, That Christmas Morning Feelin'. Opening the film with the perp at their grave, claiming they'll be different. Really good touch, helps us as the audience to feel a bit familiar with the setting before we jump into, a little bit of a different take on A Christmas Carol. It's good so that we don't feel shocked by the reveal, that it's just a whole operation at the end of the day. Great writing.
They really capture the drama of that final bit of Christmas Carol fuckery with the perp, begging, send me back, I'll be different, I can change, all that good stuff. And really smart choice casting Rose Byrne as the perp here, because this is a main character actor, and it really feels like she's had a whole complete story just by the fact that it's Rose Byrne.
Love me some Rose Byrne.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk That Christmas Morning Feelin'. I loved the use of the spotlights and how, again, this was all shot, made to feel like a stage musical. It fits for the overall vibe that they're going for, that this Christmas Carol hauntings are all a production to begin with. And it's only undercut by the new to the Afterlife recruits commentary sprinkled in between the song.
I love that they've basically given us a Greek chorus that is also part of the chorus.
Do you think someone can delete my browser history?
What a goof. And then the other guy who hates that it's a musical, but then becomes the most enthusiastic dancer. Love them both.
It's almost like they're winning the audience over.
Oh, it's almost like that.
Oh.
And that Christmas Morning Feeling is a banger. Oh my God, it is so catchy. First time I saw this movie, it was stuck in my head for like ever.
It's definitely a song worth playing Christmas morning. Like, you ever like hear a Christmas song, you go, this is what you listen to right as you roll out of bed?
Ba, ba, da, ba, 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 da, ba, 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 da, ba, 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 ba. Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. And as our resident Grinch, I usually am not on board with these happy, cheery, fun time Christmas songs, but god damn it, this one gets me. I am 100% along for the ride there.
Present has been eligible for retirement for decades, but refuses to do so, despite being tempted by the promise of settling down and making up for his own failures in life, featuring the song Present's Lament. Let's just really talk the song here. It's definitely Present's I Want song, but my one complaint, and I know it's done for the sake of a joke, it's cut way too short, and it gave me the equivalent of musical blue balls.
That's fair. They've got a lot of musical to get through in only 2 hours, so they gotta keep it moving. I love all the little like Easter eggs that they put in this song with the Hall of the Redeemed. Among the Redeemed is Dolly Parton, which is just a great touch because obviously this is one of like the best people on the planet.
Did you also notice there's a dog in the Hall of Fame as well as they're like panning through?
No, I missed that. That must have been one bad dog.
That must have been like Hitler's dog at that point. Like, I don't know.
I was going to say Biden's dog, Major.
Oh, that's right. He does keep biting people.
And we get a little bit of foreshadowing even on Present's true identity when he looks up wistfully at one particular statue that we only see the back of. But we see the long hair and we see looking over the shoulder of it down at Present. And we find out later, Scrooge!
I feel like this was one of the few bits of foreshadowing they would give us, and I'm not entirely complaining about it because it's just subtle enough to kind of pique your interest, but direct enough so that when you go back and rewatch it, you kind of do that pointing at the screen like, oh my god, the thing.
That is exactly what I did when I saw that this time around.
I knew it.
You know me so well.
Let's also talk the song too, like the lament. Like, it's just, I really do love this song. I want a full version. All right. I want a full 3.5, 5 minute version of this song.
Yeah, I would not be mad at that. And it, especially just the contrast of coming down from the huge energetic opening that was Christmas Morning Feeling to this quiet, somber I Want song just makes the impact all that more impactful.
What have I done?
Wrong lament.
Scoping for a new soul to redeem, the spirits encounter Clint Briggs, a renowned controversial media consultant, featuring the song Bringin' Back Christmas. Marley insists that Clint is unredeemable, causing Present to threaten to collect on his retirement package. After Marley calls his bluff, Present ends up convincing Marley that Clint is the right choice and that his redemption could have a ripple effect and make him a force for positive change in humanity. The Ghosts begin a year of research on Clint in preparation for the annual haunt, featuring the song Ripple. Let's talk Bringing Back Christmas. Totally gave me Music Man vibes in all of the best ways.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely see that. He knows how to work the crowd. He knows how to get people excited. And you know what? He's taken the Fox News approach to this industry, and it works. Call me a cynical old man, but people love the outrage.
Yeah, he's completely winning over this crowd with unbridled chutzpah and showmanship.
I love the line that really sums up his whole approach to life. Every Facebook boomer wants to fight a culture war. Where's the lie?
If I could find that, I think I'd find the true meaning of Christmas, Steve.
Yeah, that's never going to happen. Also, just the great joke when they're talking about the original target, not Ryan Reynolds, the hotel guy, and they're going over his basics. You know, he's in Vancouver, runs a hotel, is horrible to his employees, yada yada yada, awful rich man. They go, I love that he goes against the stereotype. Yeah, it's great to see a Canadian without mittens. Tracy Morgan's delivery, everything about that, perfect. Felt like a 30 Rock line.
There's also the quick little conversation between past and present about how insanely hot they find Clint is. Just the quick sprinkle of humor we need to break up all of the seriousness that's happening right now, which this film is just so good at doing.
When they're having that conversation about how hot he is, that just sets up one of the dominoes for this whole haunting to go off the rails, and I love that approach to it. Ghost of Christmas Past just really wants to get some. Oh boy, howdy.
All right, let's talk Ripple. There's this fun little drum buildup when we see them prepare for the upcoming haunt, and it's kind of ending with that hope we'll see how far the ripples go right before it kicks off. It just very inspiring and really gave me Greatest Showman vibes.
And I love that it immediately gets shut down, especially that Patrick Page's character is the one in this principal cast that hates musicals. Patrick Page is a rather successful Broadway actor. He was Norman Osborn in Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, but also he's Hades in Hadestown. And I implore you to listen to the Hadestown soundtrack if you have not. He does such a wonderful job. He is so just like imposing and really rocks the deep voice. And oh my goodness.
Oh, his voice is booming in all of the right ways. Oh my God.
Absolutely.
As Christmas approaches, the ghosts visit Clint's headquarters where they witness him encouraging his niece Ren, played by Marlo Barkley, who is running for class president, to post an unflattering video of her opponent, Joshua, played by Maximilian Lee Piazza. Clint's assistant, Kimberly, who uncovered the video at Clint's instruction, is riddled with guilt and almost quits, but ultimately decides against it, featuring the song The View From Here. Matters are complicated when Kimberly is unexpectedly able to see Present, who finds himself attracted to her. All right, so now we're getting the ball rolling a little bit into the plot. Like, what is it that Clint is going to have to go against in order to show that he's changed and begin his ripple? And it's obviously what he's encouraging his niece to do.
A guy that, knows how to work outrage and create drama on the internet and whatever. And so he's just going to have Ren post this one unflattering video. What's the big deal, right? People on the internet they bounce back from stuff.
They're very forgiving.
Yeah, I thought this was a really thoughtful, dastardly deed for him to pull that has dire consequences. But it makes sense that he's so nonchalant about it.
And that's perfectly shown when Kimberly starts questioning it with the line, "You want me to do Oppo research on an 8th grader?" And he just, a quick pause, and like he doesn't even believe he's being asked this question and just goes, "Sure."
It definitely shows you where they're both at. And yeah, God, the power of social media.
All right, let's talk The View From Here. It's another moving song, and you really feel the conflict within Kim here. Like, the lighting is so well done. You got those shades of dark purple to further showcase her questionable mood at this point. She's like, I know this is wrong, but I've done so much to get here, and should I just leave? Like, what should I do? It's kind of nice to see conflict in what is technically a side character, but is also someone so important to the plot at the same time.
Yeah, and it's a different kind of Cratchit archetype too, because she needs some redemption of her own. Like the original Bob Cratchit is just down on his luck and poor and just kind of does the best he can and does honest work for Scrooge, who is not honest, but Cratchit is, and is just kind of like a bastion of goodness. But Kimberly here, she gets her hands dirty a lot.
And she's finally crossing that line where she has to question, like, God, who have I become? Like, even talking about like coming from those humble beginnings, about how her mom used to be a cleaner for these huge offices and all these people who went to college, and now she lives that life. And is this really who she wants to be?
It's a powerful song and sung beautifully.
All right, so we finally also get a wrench in the operation with Kim being able to see Present, which seemingly has never happened before based off of his reaction. Kind of breaks their tradition of being behind the scenes, and also hints to us as the audience this is not going to go as planned.
Yes, I love these little breadcrumbs of things that are just driving everything off the rails when this haunting, in theory, has to go perfectly in order to succeed, because this is an unredeemable. And it's just so cute, the way that he gets a little crush on her and they meet and get all flirty. And I'm glad that he's not just like pining after her from afar and then at the end they meet. this works a lot better. It actually builds chemistry and justifies them having a relationship.
It's definitely, well, better than West Side Story. I'll say that much.
Oof. Oof.
I'm 17 and I just met this 14-year-old Puerto Rican girl and I am in love. All right, buddy. No.
For a whole 3 days.
The haunt starts but quickly goes off the rails when Clint repeatedly interrupts Marley, featuring The Story of Your Life, Marley's haunt, and seduces the willing past, forcing present to step in early and take over. All right, well, let's just talk Marley's haunt here.
Patrick Page.
Oh my god, that booming, terrifying voice. I love it.
Ye shall find no sleep tonight.
They do such a good job of making the haunt creepy, shutting off all the lights, turning everything into bells, the chains, the bricks, the crazy makeup that Marley wears. It is what you expect the Christmas Carol initial haunt to be, which makes it that much more fun when Clint keeps interrupting him.
The look of defeat when Clint raises his hand to ask questions. He's just like, you know what? Whatever. We're done here. I'm not doing this anymore. Let three ghosts, you know the deal, and just zips on down through the table. It's kind of nice because also in the middle of the song, there's that little self-commentary on how there's so many adaptations of A Christmas Carol. Like Marley literally says in all the other ones that nobody asked for.
Yeah.
If you want to think about it, like, A Christmas Carol has probably been adapted to film or TV more than any other story ever.
It's definitely up there.
I can't think of another contender at this point. Like what? Like the story of Jesus, but I mean, like,
Robin Hood?
maybe a contender?
Maybe.
Like I said, I can't think of one because I know it seems like every year there's some new variation of A Christmas Carol being released out. Like FX did a whole mini series at one point. Hallmark has to be putting out at least 4 a year.
It helps that it's in the public domain.
You know what really helps, Steve? Hollywood executives.
Capitalism, baby.
Let's talk about The Seduction of Past. It's kind of cringy, but in the best of ways. Like, we already had the setup earlier where through being almost hypnotized at just thinking of how hot that she found Clint.
I love that they immediately have a spark, and not even 2 minutes into haunting him, she's already, like, completely fucked up. It's great. It's not what you expect the spirits to do.
That walk of shame back into the room, and Present's like, oh, hey, wait, what are you doing, Pierre? And she's like, well, I don't think I can go back there. He seemed pretty clingy. Which is just a running gag throughout the rest of the film, is every time she sees Clint, she's like, oh, hey, is this awkward for you? Because, like, it's not awkward for me, but...
It's great. Such a wrench into the works so early into the haunt, and you know things are not going to get better.
Clint is initially dismissive of Present and resists his past memories, particularly those of his ex-girlfriend Nora, played by Amy Carrero, who broke up with him over his selfishness, and of his older sister Carrie, played by Andrea Anders, who has since died of cancer. The whole mom pretended to buy a dog for Christmas was legitimately heartbreaking. Like, the kid walking down the street calling out Sparky hit way harder than it had any right to.
Oh, yeah. And all just to teach a lesson. Yikes.
Whatever happened to just beating children to teach them a lesson? Now you gotta traumatize them forever?
Like beating them at a video game, right? Right?
The trauma continues, though, surrounding Christmas with the time jump forward, where he and Nora break up because he tells his sister off for choosing to have a child. And one thing that kind of bothered me here, I feel like we didn't get enough of the mom in these scenes. Obviously, she's not really the featured player, but I felt like there was so much more to her and, like, the trauma that she would, like, consistently put into him. I just feel like there wasn't enough shown, but I also kind of get that's the point. I don't know. It just bothered me. Maybe I just wanted more of the drunken mom.
I was satisfied with how much we got of her, just because in that second scene with her where his girlfriend breaks up with him and Clint says, well, it's 8 a.m. somewhere. I feel like that kind of summed it up and summed up the last, 20 years of their relationship pretty well. But yeah, this movie does kind of rush through a lot of stuff. But if it didn't, this would be a 3-hour movie.
That'd be a little too much.
Yeah. And I love the girlfriend storming off and shouting, "Suck it, Wendy." Okay, you too. Great interaction.
I need more of that drunk mom. Also, you can see like Clint talking circles all around present, truly flustered by everything. Because Clint's just being dismissive, like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, just talking to him, getting inside of his head.
Such a smart character, so conniving and manipulative, and cynical. Like, he keeps telling him throughout this whole thing, you know, I'll come along for the ride, but I'm not changing. The way that he turns it around on present, masterful.
So good. There's also like that quick scene where you can see where he leaves his first firm or whatever firm it was he was leaving to start his own, and he stops and he offers Kim like, hey, I will double your salary, you will be my executive VP, but you have to come with me right now. One of the things I liked is how she looks to her old boss, kind of like, do I do this? And he's like, almost like he's kind of saying, you're going to make so much money, just you deserve it, go. It also helps to show how she wasn't really committed to being a bad person like he was from a young age.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of almost like it's reinforcing her song from earlier.
Yeah, she actually gives a shit about hurting her boss, and the boss just wants what's best for her. Also in this scene, there's that whole thing about Twitter, and yeah, I don't know if it's going to take off. No, it's going to be big. And that was the case when this movie came out. Twitter was huge and everywhere, and now we're just a year later, and where is it?
Twitter doesn't exist anymore. It's called something. I don't know.
I expect we'll figure it out at some point.
After running from a past memory of visiting his dying sister in the hospital, Clint escapes to the Haunt's office, where he happens across his file that states he isn't unredeemable. After confronting Present about how mankind isn't getting any better and that he is refusing to continue the Haunt, Present decides to take an unconventional approach to the Haunt. Present takes them back into his own past and reveals that he was once Ebenezer Scrooge, the only other unredeemable soul to go through the program, featuring the song Good Afternoon. Marley is furious and orders Present to stick to the script. I loved the line, you want to know what humanity is really like? Check the comments below. Because as we all are aware, you never read the comments.
Yeah, comment section is where needless fights happen all the time, over anything and everything. By the way, comment and like and subscribe on all of our posts on social media, please.
Tell your grandma to stop drinking and Facebooking while you're at it.
No, it's 8 a.m. somewhere.
Let's talk the twist here as well. We are just about halfway through the film at this point, and there's been a little bit of foreshadowing here, but what do you feel about this overall twist?
I did not see it coming the first time I watched this. I was pleasantly surprised. I just figured that these were just spirits and that they had interacted with Ebenezer Scrooge. Just feels like it fits in the world, and this is just a sequel, and he was just their worst case. But having him become the ghost of Christmas Present is such a smart move. It really shows like that his change stuck, even though he doesn't believe it has, and he's just become this person who's so overcome with guilt that he feels that he'll never be able to make up for it. And at the same time, he is so funny yelling at that child as Ebenezer Scrooge. Loved that so much. He's so mean and just so vile. Love the makeup they got for him, his hair, everything about it. Terrific.
Will Ferrell is perfect whenever it comes to playing a character that is being mean or yelling. Like, you shouldn't like this character, but you can't help but love this character because of how over the top they are.
Absolutely.
The leading cause of death was January.
Such a good line.
I was legitimately like belly laughing because I forgot that was a joke in this film. I only watched it once last year, but oh my God, so good, so funny. Again, little jokes sprinkled around just to kind of break up the seriousness of it. So you're not sitting here and thinking this is such a drag. No, you're having fun through this emotional roller coaster. This is also the moment where it starts becoming real to Clint. We see that look in his eyes as he stares at Scrooge yelling at his accounting paperwork from his desk. not even yelling at anyone in general, literally just screaming at the paperwork on his desk. And Clint is starting to see parts of himself in Scrooge. And that's why Present brought him to see that.
But then, of course, Clint has to deflect and turn it around and create a spectacle to keep the introspection from getting too deep on himself. And he gives us my favorite song, Good Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Oh my God. What a hilarious song. What a great time this is. I love how much the number builds until it's the whole town dancing with them and there's a man falling from the sky. Oh my God. Everything about this number just builds and becomes more ridiculous and more fun. And a Judi Dench cameo.
Wait, was that Judi Dench?
Oh my God, she's a national treasure.
You're right. And I feel the big theme here is Clint trying, like you said, trying to deflect. He's trying not to feel guilty about his own actions. But also by doing this, he's encouraging Present to tap a bit into his old self. Oh no, it's okay. Be an asshole sometimes.
Yeah, it feels good.
Also, the pure absurdity of Good Afternoon being an insult is just silly enough to work. Like, I remember first time watching this, I actually went to my phone. I'm like, was this a real thing? Because it's believable enough that would be a real thing. Like, Good Afternoon would be the go f*** yourself, you f***ing c*** of the British 1800s.
I feel like to a certain degree it was at least impolite to end with Good Afternoon back in the day.
I say good day.
Whoa. Them's fighting words, pal.
Present starts by bringing Clint to his own party, where he overhears his partygoers shit whispering about him. He also overhears his younger brother Owen, played by Joe Tippett, standing up for him by saying he's a good person inside. He is then shown his ex-girlfriend Nora happily celebrating Christmas with her husband and children, but Clint deduces that it is Present himself who longs for a happy family life with Kim, featuring the song The Story of Your Life, Clint's Pitch. Present dismisses this and instead shows him Joshua's horrified reaction to Ren's reposting of his video. Present then finally gets Clint to relive his most painful memory, Carrie's deathbed request of him to raise Ren, which he had refused and passed on to Owen. There's another quick scene where Kimberly can see Present, and there's a bit more flirtation, just very quick scene, just laying some more foundation.
Yeah, and it fits that this is a costume Christmas party because he's in full Christmas Present garb, and she still obviously doesn't believe him. Who would? That he's the actual ghost of Christmas Present here to haunt Clint, but she sees him in the costume and she's like, wow, you committed. Great. Excellent little touch.
Let's talk the song here now, Story of Your Life, Clint's Pitch. The song serves to give us some further character development for Present by showing us what he has been dreaming about. It also plays into how he feels like he doesn't deserve that life given his lifetime of misdeeds, except for literally 3 weeks after the events of A Christmas Carol.
Also, the wonderful work that the songwriters do here, taking a song that was meant to scare Clint and, shame him for being an awful person and flipping it around to Clint, giving like a heartfelt pitch for what Present wants his life to be. Versatile song, great execution both times, but so wildly different.
You also get to see a quick moment where Clint is trying to justify how he's influencing Ren, and just look at Present's face. He's completely not buying it, and that's because he lived it.
He knows an unredeemable when he sees one. Takes one to know one.
And more excuses from Clint, where he's trying to again justify his decision to pass Carrie's request on to Owen, when the truth of the matter is he was just afraid of messing it all up. As Present prepares to leave Clint with yet to come, Clint forces him to confront his own fears about whether he was truly redeemed, as Scrooge had died only 3 weeks after encountering the ghosts. Clint convinces him to take retirement and give life on Earth another try, featuring the song Unredeemable. This is my favorite song. This is also, in my opinion, the finale to Act 1. It's like Present's I Want song being fully sang, in a sense. Like, he's uninterruptedly stating what he wants, and he's finally taking the leap to get there as he grabs a hold of that pocket watch.
I love the concept that Scrooge only had 3 weeks of goodness. That drives his whole motivation. He doesn't know whether he's redeemable still. After all the good that he's done, he still doesn't think that it's enough or that he's worthy. of happiness. And God, this song, it tugs on your heartstrings. It is a gut punch. This is my favorite in terms of like production design. They're just in that dark room, dancers with lights on their wrists, and it's so simple. And the choreo just works so well in moving these light rays around. It's just light rays, but they work so effectively. Oh my God, I love it. Such a cool concept.
I'm no stranger at this point to Will Ferrell's ability to dive into a very dark place. If you've ever seen Stranger Than Fiction or Everything Must Go, two absolutely underrated treasures of his filmography, you know that he can get there, and I feel this is just his magnum opus of being there. Him sitting here and just like questioning, am I unlovable? Am I someone that someone can forgive? Like, can I even do this? Can I take this leap? And then he's kind of like building himself up like, I have to go. I have to try. That's how I'll know. That's how I'll know if I'm forever unredeemable. Like, he knows that if I don't go back to the real world, I'll never truly know if what the ghosts did for me stuck.
Great concept, great execution, masterful storytelling.
Soon after, the two wake up in Clint's apartment, and Present, now mortal, asks Kimberly on a date, featuring the song The View From Here, Riverwalk. Clint is then intercepted by Yet to Come and shown glimpses of the future, including Joshua's suicide after Ren's video destroys his reputation. Of course, the first thing the Present does is take a high-pressure hot shower.
Yes, I love that. And he's, so excited.
Look out, New York City! This guy showers once a month!
Yeah, I love how excited he is about indoor plumbing.
The comment on the Buddy the Elf costume.
I was literally just going to say that. The Buddy the Elf costume.
He looks stupid.
It's not even like he says it off the bat. He like looks him up and down and really like takes a solid beat before saying that. That makes it so much funnier. Like if he was just walking past him, like, no, he took his time to take everything in before like insulting him.
Yeah, and then that just reminds us that Will Ferrell is a rare actor who has starred in 2 excellent Christmas movies.
2 excellent, unexpected Christmas movies.
Yes.
But we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Let's talk The View From Here. It's a sweet little song. Is really just used to show that these two are falling for each other while admitting their fears of who they used to be. And it's just so sweet. I know I just said that, but I can't think of any better word to describe this song. And you can't help but smile while these two are just falling for each other.
This is another great example of the songwriters taking a song that we've already heard and flipping it on its head. First version of it is very sad, remorseful, all about her regrets. And then this version is, hopeful but introspective. They're trying to move past their misdeeds instead of just wallowing in them and hoping for something better with each other. But, not sure if they deserve the happiness.
And I feel like that's a real feeling people can get, even if like you haven't really done horrible things. Like I felt that myself, like good things happen to me and I go, what did I do to deserve this? Because self-esteem is a bitch.
I feel that.
We got to talk about this really dark twist here, because you all thought that Tiny Tim dying was a dark twist.
Oof.
They don't even outright say it. You just know.
They don't have to say it.
I think it's better that they don't. Like they could be like, wait, you mean he killed himself? No, that doesn't work as well as Ren coming up, putting flowers down, and Josh's family like turning away, like disgusted that she's even there.
Yeah, it is a powerful scene. It comes out of nowhere, darker than anything we've seen up until this point in the movie. And it gets real. It hits us. It even hits Clint. Like, holy shit, I'm causing a kid to lose his life.
I love how Clint just decides it's too real and decides he wants to sprint to the end. So he starts just running through doorways until he gets to like the graveyard.
Right here! 93? Not bad.
Past is there and goes, oh, hey, what are you doing here? Kind of thing. As like Yet to Come is like trying to keep up and is completely out of breath by the time he gets there. And he points to it and he's like, yes, that's it. It's over. We're done. It's just, but Yet to Come has just completely had it. He's like, no, forget this. And he like pile drives him into the grave.
Yet to Come doesn't speak much in this movie, but he gets the best lines. And the crowning achievement here is him slamming him down while saying,
"You made Christmas Carol, bitch!"
Another perfect casting with Tracy Morgan there.
Love me some Tracy Morgan voice acting.
Liz Lemon, I'm gonna talk at that next haunting.
Back on Earth, a shaken Clint races to stop Ren from posting the video. Just as he catches up to her, Kimberly stops him and reveals that she convinced Ren not to do it, then quits her job. Present is jubilant and waits for Clint to receive his congratulations from the Spirit crew, but is confused when they fail to arrive. Present sitting there watching TV when Clint wakes up. He's like, "What time is it?" "Oh, it's like 4 a.m. "Oh, okay."
Hey, I think I have moderate to severe Crohn's disease.
No, you don't. Stop watching that. God, you look like hell.
I know.
Yes. I love that he's just immediately under the influence of the television. He's just never seen it before.
We even get a little bit of slapstick as he's running down the stairs and he ends up tripping and slamming into a pipe. And he's like, "Oh, there's a concussion."
Yeah.
Like, I feel like at this point, Present is just, "Oh, you know how you kept with your funny quips with me during serious moments? Yeah, well, I'm about to do the same thing to you now."
It's great. I love them playing off each other. And I really like the choice that Clint isn't the one that convinces Ren not to post the video, but it was instead indirectly Scrooge, which brings about his own redemption. It's a roundabout way of getting him what he feels he's missing in order to have a fulfilling life on Earth.
And it just shows that him and Kim can relate more because they both did something at one point in their life to really start turning things around. So Kim has really only expressed that she's been thinking about it and that she's almost there, but she hasn't taken, that leap.
Mm-hmm.
This was Kim taking that leap and making the decision to say, "I'm going to be different from here on out."
It's another ripple effect from Present telling her, we are the decisions that we make.
And I just want to talk about real quick about how Present forgetting the name of Tiny Tim
Yes.
had to pause. I was laughing so hard at some of these names. Super Small Steve.
Great little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if that was just something they came up with on the spot.
That's canon to me now, so.
Yeah. Incredible.
Clinton explains that he only rectified a mistake and has not changed, but tells Present that life is still worth trying and offers his friendship. A despondent Present, convinced he is unredeemable, jumps in front of an oncoming bus to return to his job in the afterlife. Clint shoves him out of the way, and just before the bus hits, time freezes, and the spirits arrive to congratulate Clint for achieving his redemption, featuring the song "Do a Little Good." However, when time resumes, the bus hits Clint, killing him. Carrie arrives to lead Clint into the afterlife, and while he is overjoyed to see his sister again, he is reluctant to leave Present behind. Instead, he makes a proposal to Marley. Present looks so heartbroken when Clint says that he's just going to go back to work next week and he's going to keep doing what he does because he's going to find some way to rationalize all of the awful decisions he makes.
Yeah, it's incredibly realistic. That's how people are.
You'll have this traumatic moment and you just make the decision of, it's just a one-time thing. It's fine.
You decide in the moment, oh, I'm going to be better from here on out. But then when it's time to do the work, yeah, maybe not. That's people for you.
And also, Present here, just trying so hard so he can feel like he's capable, not just of change, but of forgiveness for his past transgressions. And I think that's the hardest thing he can't get past, is he wasn't able to truly seek forgiveness for everything that he did to humanity when he was Scrooge.
Yeah. Redeeming Clint was his one way of proving that it was possible, and now he's just having that all shattered in front of him. And the decision to, when he finally has this time freezing moment, they do a good job of setting us up at the beginning. As you'll notice, she hits the ball out into the street, and then time freezes as the ball is flying. Then she comes out in the middle of the street, has their little goodbye with Marley and the gang. And then when time resumes, that same ball hits her in the head, showing that, when time freezes, the person can move to a different spot. So then we once again get a subversion where they freeze time for Clint. They do a whole musical number They've all decided to be better people. Everything is great, but he still gets hit by the bus. I think that's the mature ending that makes the sacrifice real and meaningful.
And I'd also just like to quickly point out that we have a weird streak going on here at the pod. This is the second film in a row where a main character gets hit by a bus in the end.
Oh, that's true.
But Clint brings up a really good point about how you have to decide to be a good person, just doing it one step at a time. It's not, yeah, you wake up one day, all right, that's it, it's all there. You're gonna make mistakes, but you can get there. You just have to take one step at a time. Much like the same step he takes in front of that bus for Present.
Ooh, symbolism.
You love to see it.
Oh, we sure do.
Speaking of things we love to see, let's talk about Do a Little Good.
Great showstopper. What I especially love here is the whole tap dancing crew on like the fire escape or scaffolding or whatever they're on. Oh my God. They are so wildly entertaining. They're incredibly talented. They're doing such a great job. I could watch a whole movie with them tapping.
That's the director's cut, tap edition.
Ooh, I'm sold. Spirit tapped.
I agree, though. This is definitely a showstopper. Great little send-off song to the musical here. I think it also just is used to just drive home what I said before. Change doesn't come all at once. If you want to be good, just do a little each day.
Yeah, it's following this movie's streak of having realistic things happen. That is the realistic way to be a better person. Keep trying.
Several years later, Clint has assumed the role of the Ghost of Christmas Present and is in a relationship with Past. He has expanded the program to include other holidays so the team can take on more perps every year, and has brought Carrie on board as part of the staff. Clint also regularly visits Present, now married to Kimberly, and father of their 2 children. And the friends continue to work together redeeming souls. Ren has grown up and has been accepted into a master's program at Stanford, featuring the song, That Christmas Morning Feelin', The Curtain Call. I really love how Clint and Present are still friends and working together, although it kind of seems as if the rules for the haunt are completely out the window.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it's whatever they want the rules to be. The spirits just have, I don't know, reality powers, whatever. But Will Ferrell let Octavia Spencer see him. That's enough justification for me.
My understanding is it wasn't his choice at first, though. But I don't know. Maybe once they learned that they could do that, it kind of like force projecting. Just spent a few years and learned how to do it.
Sure.
Well, because it was also already established that when Present was alive, he could still see all of the other ghosts. I think it's because he had that connection with them.
Yeah, that's a good point. It could be. There's a really great and, again, mature touch that they put in here when Scrooge is out back in the backyard building his whatever jungle gym, whatchamacallit, for his kids, where he like loses his cool for a second and yells at the kids like he was old Ebenezer. Kind of puts a nice little bow on the film's thesis statement that people can change, but only a little bit at a time.
Because I remember he even like apologized for it. He's like, "Hey, that was a little too much. I'm sorry about that." Kind of line thrown in there afterwards. I did feel like when he was screaming at them, though, it made me think of the Saturday Night Live sketch.
Get off the shit!
Oh, yeah. Iconic.
Let's talk The Curtain Call here. It's a song. We already know it. Started with it. That Christmas morning feeling. It's playing over the credits. I really love how what they decided to do was they made it extra fun by having it just be intercut scenes that we've seen throughout the film, but it's to everyone actually singing the song. And you can get like the behind the scenes too with people. Oh, so good.
Even get a little Jimmy Fallon not being awful.
He's only got 5 minutes per day to use that. So thankfully he was able to make it on set and use it there.
Hear, hear.
But wait, Steve, there's more.
What?
In a post-credits scene, the hotel manager from the Christmas tree convention is revealed to be the next perp chosen for redemption. It's a cute after-credits scene. Like, there's really not much here for it. They don't really get too into it, but I mean, it just shows that these spirits still be haunting.
They tell us what they need to tell us with this. Like that was arguably a dangling plot thread where, you know, this guy is still pretty awful and deserves to be haunted, but, you know, Ryan Reynolds is worse. But it's nice to see them, you know, still tackle this guy too. And all you need is the stuff turning into bells.
Isn't that what we all need, Steve?
That's what I always say.
And folks, that's the breakdown.
Whew, broke it down.
We sure did. Now, before we break anything else, just one more quick commercial break instead.
Cha-ching!
Folks, you've been asking about it for years. You come up to me, you come up to Steve, and you say, guys, where's the merch for the pod?
I know, right? Just leave us alone for 2 seconds, people.
That's right, Steve. We've been way too busy doing all types of other things, such as jumping jacks and putting together puzzles and
documents.
Tons of documents. But who has time to sit there and truly set up a merch store?
Not me, I'll tell you what. If only there was an easier way for us to open up a merch store to sell our merch to people.
Well, you know what, Steve? There is live right now. We have the That Sounds Terrible Go On podcast store, and it's all available on redbubble.com. Go to redbubble.com. Look up our store. It is TSTGo-pod. Again, TSTGo-pod. You'll see fun little things that we say on here. You'll find stickers, shirts, hats.
That's some high quality merchandise if I ever did see it right there.
So that's right, folks. Hit up redbubble.com, search TSTGo-pod, all one word, and we'll see you there.
Capitalism, baby!
Welcome back, folks.
Hey.
Hey, 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 hey. Whoa, hey.
Hey. Hey.
You gotta calm down, Steve.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hey. You gotta do just a little bit of good each day, Steve. All right? You hear me?
How much?
Just
little bits.
Oh, just a little bit.
That's right, folks. A little bit's part of the pod where we get to those things we didn't get to say. Maybe some fun stuff we learned along the way. So, Steve, you got any bits?
Yeah, just a nice little touch that they thankfully don't hit you over the head with at the beginning of the movie with the first perp sitting at her grave and about to be sucked in. So a lot of the bad stuff she did was, yelling at neighborhood kids, filing claims against her neighbors, doing all this HOA stuff. You look on the headstone, did you see what her name is? It's Karen.
Excellent.
Yeah. They named her Karen. She has the haircut. She has the attitude. Just a great little touch. And I'm glad that they didn't linger on that. You really have to look for it. Corey, you got a bit?
When unable to remember Tiny Tim's name, present does suggest the name of Little Larry, which actually was one of the names Dickens had considered for that character.
Oh, the more you know.
Steve, you got a bit?
During Do a Little Good, this is not as hidden as the Karen on the tombstone, but something I don't think I noticed last time I watched this. The marquee on the top of the bus that's about to hit Ryan Reynolds, or that's about to hit Clint, is displaying all the lyrics of the song. It's just a nice little touch. Just as they go along, they got it all timed up there, and it's just kind of in the background happening. Nice little thing. Corey, you got a bit?
The name of the hotel in the film is called the Copperfield, which is named for David Copperfield, which was another story written by Charles Dickens.
Oh, the Dickens, you say?
Steve, you got a bit?
In the curtain call, that Christmas morning feeling, when they're going through all the different scenes, there's a bit where they go through that main office lobby of the afterlife. And another thing I didn't catch before, there is a full rock band playing That Christmas Morning Feeling in the middle of this giant room. And it is Clint's brother as the lead of the band. Never noticed that before. Corey, you got any more bits?
Speaking of Clint's brother, Owen, played by Joe Tippett. Joe Tippett, fun little fact, he, like majority of other people here, is a stage actor as well. While being a stage actor, he got to meet one Sarah Bareilles, and they have been together since 2015.
Oh, I love that for them. I wonder if she is going to write him a love song.
Not if he asks for it.
What if he needs one?
Little bits!
Oh, just a little bit.
And now it's time for everyone's favorite segment.
That's right, it's the Untitled Ben Affleck segment.
That's right, folks. According to our merch, it's As Played by Ben Affleck.
Untitled Ben Affleck segment.
Now, for those who've never listened in, As Played by Ben Affleck
Untitled Ben Affleck segment
is when we choose one character from the film we just watched to replace with Ben Affleck. Now, there are 3 eras of Ben Affleck that we have to choose from, so we choose a character to replace with Ben Affleck, what era, and why. Starting off, we have the Good Will Hunting era Ben Affleck, which is when he was the indie darling and just starting to get into action films. Next up, we have the Jiggly era Ben Affleck. This is the rom-com starting around the release of the Jiggly film. Finally, we have Batfleck era Ben Affleck, where he's older, more chiseled, and got that beautiful salt and pepper beard. Now, with that being said, Steve, who were you replacing with Ben Affleck? What era, and why?
Yeah, this is a toughie, because I don't really want to replace anyone in this film. That being said, if I have to choose, I'm going to be replacing Clint's brother Owen with Gigli era Ben Affleck. Feel like that would make him a little bit more of a presence in the film, given that he's got to raise Ren and got to be supportive of Clint and the sister and be an all-around good guy, even though he's, maybe not that successful, but he's in a band. I feel like that would be better suited with a name like Ben Affleck in that sort of role, kind of like they did with having Karen be played by Rose Byrne. Corey, who are you replacing with Ben Affleck? What era and why?
Well, Steve, I am also going to be replacing Clint's brother Owen with Jiggly era Ben Affleck, but for different reasons. When I think of someone who's going to play Owen, you have to have somebody who is going to be a little goofy, a little bit like airheaded, and I think this era Ben Affleck would both look the part and be able to sell the part. Think of the Ben Affleck he was being in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. That Ben Affleck playing himself, playing his character in Good Will Hunting 2 Hunting Season.
Applesauce, bitch.
100%. I could totally see Owen just becoming a character like that. And so Jiggly era Ben Affleck is the perfect era for that, in my opinion.
Well, sorry, Joe Tippett.
He's going to get married to Sarah Bareilles, all right? He's won.
That's true. I take it back, Joe Tippett.
And that's going to wrap up As Played by Ben Affleck.
Untitled Ben Affleck segment!
And it's going to lead us to our final question, Steve, which is, would you watch this film again?
Oh, absolutely. This has quickly become one of my favorite Christmas movies. As someone who's not the biggest fan of Christmas movies all the time, this has got so much going for it. The music is just banger after banger. There are no misses. There's fun chemistry. There's fun storytelling. It's an all-around good time. This will probably become a yearly watch for me. And I dare I say a top 5 Christmas film. Corey, would you watch this again?
Oh, absolutely. I think this might go into my yearly holiday film rotation. It's tons of fun. I love the chemistry. I love the story. I love the emotional roller coaster it brings me on. And I love the hell out of these songs, man. These songs are fun. They are catchy. And they will emotionally destroy you if you let them.
Absolutely. I feel like the movie can be summed up with this one line from Christmas Morning Feelin'. It's like we're all on Molly, but it's a natural high.
All right, folks, and that's going to wrap up 2022's Spirited. We did it.
Oh, we sure did. Spirit did it.
We sure did, Steve. Now, Steve, what are we hitting next week?
Well, after we've gotten through this excellent Will Ferrell Christmas classic, what else to do but yet another Will Ferrell Christmas classic? That's right, folks. We are going for 2003's Elf, directed by Jon Favreau.
That's right, Steve. You're going to have to tell me your favorite color next time as we get into it. We are out of our elfin minds, and I can't wait to get into this one. But until then, folks, I've been Corey.
I'm usually Steve.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon! Sorry, I completely zoned out. I was not paying attention. Let me get up there and join in that tight choreo.